He must have known that he was going somewhere where he shouldn't have gone. But it's a tragedy that he was so easily able to get over those fences and get in.
On Saturday the 28th of June 2008, a group day out for Oakey Springs Baptist Church at the Six Flags Georgia resort ended in tragedy when 17-year-old Asia Ferguson ignored warning signs and climbed into a restricted area of the park, leading to deadly consequences. What transpired after Asia entered the restricted zone would go down in Six Flags history as being one of the worst cases of death within their park. So what happened on that fateful day? This is the infamous story of the Batman Rollercoaster incident. Asia Leeshawn Ferguson was the eldest son in the Ferguson family and grew up in the state of South Carolina after being born in Georgia on April the 26th, 1991. His family say that he was a kind and thoughtful young man with a bright future ahead of him. He loved his family and he loved Jesus and going to church. He went every Sunday and often helped the church with activities and events. Asia also did well in school and was a rising high school senior at W.J. Keenan High School in Springfield. After high school, his plan was to join the National Guard and attend college. At the time, he was 17 years old. On June the 28th, 2008, Asia, along with 70 other members of his church and family, visited Six Flags Georgia for a church day out. The Six Flags amusement park in Georgia opened on June the 16th, 1967, and was named Six Flags Over Georgia. The park opened after the success of Six Flags Over Texas, and on opening day, they had over 3,000 visitors, followed by 1.2 million over the first summer. The park spans over 290 acres and is home to over 40 rides, which include 11 roller coasters. The park prides itself on its collection of roller coasters, which include the world-famous Mindbender ride, the Goliath, and of course, Batman the Ride. Based on the DC Universe character Batman, Batman the Ride is a steel inverted coaster located in various Six Flags theme parks in the United States. During the early months of 1990, the general manager of Six Flags Chicago came up with the idea of a Batman-themed roller coaster. After spending $7 million, the ride opened to the public 2 years later on the 2nd of May 1992. After its success, many other Six Flags resorts copied suit and made their own version. On May 3rd, 1997, Batman the Ride opened in Six Flags Georgia. The ride's track is roughly 2,700 feet long and has a top speed of 50 miles per hour. There are 5 inversions, including a 0G roll, 2 corkscrews, and 2 vertical loops. Since opening, it has always been one of the park's most popular rides. That fateful day, at approximately 2 PM, for reasons never actually confirmed, Asia and his friends scaled over 2 different 6-foot fences separating the safety of the park and an unrestricted dangerous area underneath the Batman roller coaster. It is important to note that the area had numerous signs warning people not to enter as it was a danger zone. He was now in the restricted area when in the blink of an eye, he was struck by a rider's foot on the Batman roller coaster, which was now in full motion travelling at 50 miles per hour. The roller coaster was travelling so fast that when the rider's foot made contact with Asia, he was instantly decapitated. Park visitor Nadej St. Fleur was waiting in the line when she saw the incident unfold in front of her eyes. She said, "I was waiting in line when 2 teenagers rushed past me and jumped the fence. One of them ducked underneath the ride, and the ride just picked him up and threw him over the fence. You heard a big pop, and he just laid there." This was Asia who had been hit. His friend escaped unscathed. Within minutes, paramedics arrived on the scene, but Asia was unresponsive, and they confirmed that he had died. There were different opinions to why he and his friend entered the restricted area. The first rumour that spread around was that he wanted to touch the roller coaster as it went past, but this is unlikely as it was strongly denied by his family. The second more likely scenario is that he went to retrieve a hat that he had lost whilst on the ride. His friend and several other guests all openly heard him discuss plans to retrieve the hat before his death. The police later made a statement claiming this to be false, but the majority of people still think that this was the reason, but it was never completely confirmed. Either way, The ride was closed down and an investigation into the incident was launched.
The Batman Rollercoaster remained closed Monday at Six Flags Over Georgia, 2 days after a teen was killed by the ride. Police and park officials say 17-year-old Asia Leeshawn Ferguson climbed 2 fences surrounding a restricted area. He was hit and decapitated by the ride.
After the incident, the ride remained closed whilst investigators looked into what happened. Shortly after the investigation was launched, the autopsy determined that his death was accidental. Officers also inspected the ride and deemed it was safe. When his parents were asked why he would scale the fence, they said, "Police investigators tried to tell us what they thought had happened, but nobody knows but my son and the Lord. We don't know because we weren't with him at the time. We're not clear on what happened. All we know is that we don't blame anybody." The investigation brought to light a similar incident that occurred 6 years prior with the same ride. Again, for reasons completely unknown, a 58-year-old employee named Samuel Milton Guyton found himself in the restricted area underneath the Batman Rollercoaster. Whilst he was there, the roller coaster came by and a rider's dangling leg struck the man, killing him instantly. The girl whose leg was dangling down had to go to hospital for leg injuries, but made a full recovery, and nothing more came of it. After the catastrophe, Six Flags increased their level of safety. There are 3 times as many danger do not enter signs posted around restricted places. They also covered several fences with barbed wire. Although many said it was way too easy for him to get into this area, I will clarify that this was not the park or the ride's fault, which is why the Batman Rollercoaster is still open to this day. Sadly, warning signs were ignored, which led to tragic consequences, but this is still tragic, and the world lost, by the sounds of it, a good kid who made a mistake. The following Saturday, a celebration of Isaiah's life was held at the Oakey Springs Baptist Church. He is survived by his parents, grandparents, and 2 brothers. His family miss him dearly, with his auntie saying, "All I could do was cry, because he's more than just my nephew, he's more like my little brother." The death of Isaiah highlights the importance of listening to warnings and staying out of restricted areas. They aren't restricted areas to be a buzzkill, it's for your own safety. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but keep it respectful. Please like the video, and if you're new, consider subscribing. I upload every Thursday. As always, thank you for watching.